based on your genetics, how your DNA affects your weight, sleep, caffeine intake, sense of taste? Go to 23andme.com/herd. 23andme.com/theherd. With that, let's not waste any time. Best for last.
After almost 3 hours, Colin apparently hasn't gotten to the point yet. Quit holding out on us, cowherd. It's the best for last.
All right, series tied at 2, went 13 innings last night. Cody Bellinger, who didn't start, was off to a 1-for-22 start in the series, got plugged in the 8th, and then in the 13th, he drove in Manny Machado, and Tom Verducci, Fox baseball analyst, is joining us. Okay, let's start with Manny Machado. I said this earlier, Tom. Sports has a history of agitators. Rodman, Lambeer, Richard Sherman, Josh Norman. They are poking the ribs, get in your head. I could argue Manny Machado, nobody was at risk physically. He was a troll last night. They call it a troll on the internet. He's getting into Milwaukee's head. He's had a tremendous series. I've seen this my whole life in sports. But my guess is Milwaukee doesn't see it that way. You talked to Christian Yelich. What did he say?
Well, he had no problem calling out Manny Machado, calling that a dirty play by a dirty player. And, Colin, I think the reason he was so bothered by it was because you had Aguilar, the first baseman, in a vulnerable position, and they saw that as a play by Machado that was not necessary and was reckless. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Manny, of course, it's a good word to use, a troll in this case, on the field at least, because he's in the middle of so many storms, you begin to believe that maybe he is the storm.
Well, you know, here's the thing. My favorite baseball player of all time was George Brett, but if you Google his career, he missed 25, 30 games a year. Machado doesn't miss any. He plays every day. He doesn't always run hard to first, but he's wildly productive. He's one of the 5 stars in the sports. And I got to be honest, I grew up with Al Roboski, Mickey Rivers, all sorts of Mark Fidrich, Ricky Henderson, quirky guys. Machado's got an ego. I think I would re-sign. I mean, listen, the Cubs or the Yankees are going to go after him, right? Like, this isn't going to dissuade teams from going after Machado, right?
Hey, no, I don't think so. Listen, I think what you're talking about is a guy who shows his frustrations on the field in ways that really probably are not professional. Not running a ball out, the play at first base last night. That will not dissuade people from giving this guy $300 million plus because of the talent and the ability. In fact, you saw that in the 13th inning. His read on first base on that ball in the dirt was incredible. Gets to second base and has a great score from second base on the winning base hit. So talent is going to win. He's 26 years old. Listen, I do think there's going to be some teams out there. This will give them pause. They will have to do a little more homework into the character. When you turn over that much money to a player, you want to feel good about what you're doing, that investment is a good one. So I think it will give some teams pause, but the bottom line, we're talking about money as a bottom line, right? Not sure that's going to change all that much because of what happened just last night.
Interesting game for the Dodgers. Kershaw's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, but has had some well-documented postseason struggles. Dave Roberts, in the analytic era where managers make less and have less leverage, will probably get blamed. That's the way it works if this talented roster doesn't win. Could this be Dave Roberts' last game, the manager of the Dodgers? Could Clayton Kershaw's Dodger career not be as long-lasting as we thought? I mean, I think this game today, if the Dodgers lose, and it's one of the biggest Dodger games in 5-6 years. What's your takeaway on Kershaw and Roberts?
It seems like we've been in this situation so many times with Kersh getting the ball where you say it's a big game, he's got to come through. Just go back to last year, Game 5 of the World Series. Complete clunker with that series tied. So, yes, this could be his last start. Of course, he's got the option to leave the team or at least test the free agent market. Here's the thing, Colin. I'm not sure Dave Roberts knows what he's going to get from Kersh. That great game against the Braves in the DS, his longest start ever in the postseason, goes 8 innings. Comes back with that game in Milwaukee, his shortest start ever with just 3 innings. Completely different pitcher. He threw more balls in the middle of the plate against Milwaukee in Game 1 than I've seen him do in a long time. If he does that again, it'll be a short start.
You know, it's funny. Craig Counsell did a little over-managing last night where he had 2 challenges, didn't win either. I didn't think they were great challenges, and I think it's almost disruptive to a pitcher on the mound like Josh Hader, who cranks out 98 miles an hour. This has been very much a chess match. I honestly think when I watch these 2 teams, I think Milwaukee's the better team. If I lined them up for you and I said we're tied at 2, Tom, who do you think is the better roster, the better team to represent the National League?
I would agree with you right now, and especially tied at 2. Milwaukee has the advantage at home field, right? 2 of the next 3 in Milwaukee. They're a little bit strapped today, I got to tell you, though, because of the bullpen usage last night. That was the worst-case scenario for the Brewers, to have Gio Gonzalez get out of that game after 1 inning with the ankle injury and to really extend a lot of their relievers, pitchers. I'd be surprised if Hader is available for more than, say, even 1 batter today. But listen, Colin, you talk about the way Counsell run games. I think he's done a really good job because he's been super aggressive. His greatest strength, I believe, with the Brewers is the depth of that bullpen. And he will never be accused of leaving a starter in the game too long. He is always erring on the more aggressive side. Now, does that come back and burn him if it's a 7-game series, the way they've been used? Perhaps, but I think that's their road to win, using as many relief pitchers as he can.
Series tied at 2. Brewers, Dodger Stadium today, 5:05 Eastern on FS1. Tom Verducci, great Fox baseball analyst. Good talking to you, Tom. Thank you, sir.
You got it, Colin.
All right, good stuff today. We've had Nick Wright, Steven Jackson, Joel Klatt, Jason Whitlock, and Tom Verducci. Machado, by the way, is the only Dodger hitting. So, I don't know. Maybe I've got the wrong take. I think he's trolling. I think he's doing what Draymond Green does, and I think
he's not trying to injure him. He is definitely trolling. The reason that they're upset is because it's possible for him to step on his ankle and injure him, but I don't think it was his intention to injure him there.
Well, baseball, it's funny. Baseball has a new ad campaign with Ken Griffey where the whole campaign is let the kids play. That it used to be baseball had big personalities, and over the last couple of decades, I have no reason why they've sort of suppressed personalities. They gave Bryce Harper a lot of crap. They gave Yasiel Puig a lot of crap. Manny Machado is a personality. He has different styles. The NBA is much better and much more tolerant at accepting. Lance Stevenson came into the league, Meta World Peace, Rodman. You put your arms around them, they are what they are, and several teams want them to play. Machado, to me, is a great player. He's delivering. He's a little bit of a troll. He's an agitator. But I think we forget Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor, Tiger Woods. Michael Jordan, by the way, was a trash talker. Larry Bird was a world-class. Now, you're saying, Colin, they weren't trying to injure people. When I watched Machado last night, I don't think he's trying to injure anybody.
I mean, you got to sell the fight. Every personality is not going to be the same. It just doesn't work that way. Have you ever met 2 people that are exactly the same? No. You want to encourage personalities. That's what content is. That's what we do.
It is what we do. All right. I have a feeling Milwaukee's going to win today, and Milwaukee's going to go and win the next 2 games. And then, Dave, it's funny. Analytics has sort of reduced the leverage of managers. They don't make a ton of money now in baseball, whereas football's the opposite. Football coaches have never been more important. And it's weird what analytics in basketball have made it more offense. Analytics in football have made it more offense. Analytics in baseball have made it more defense. I would get rid of the defensive shift tomorrow. I don't get it. I get rid of it. I don't understand it. In every sport, you can't hang out in the crease in hockey. You can't hang out in the lane in the NBA. In the NFL, an offensive lineman can't be downfield on a pass. Just outlaw the defensive shifts. Let's get more hits, more runners, more activity. I think it's all good. Chris Broussard will join us tomorrow as LeBron and the Lakers debut tomorrow. Very excited for that. I'll go on record saying I think they're going to be about a 47 to a 51 win team. I don't think they're going to be great in October, November, December, but I do believe what will happen to the Lakers is Brandon Ingram, this is my prediction, will emerge as a 23-point-a-game guy. LeBron will be A+. He'll be a A-, B+ player in the league. And with Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and LeBron, they're not going to need Kawhi. They're not going to need Jimmy Butler. They're not going to need Paul George. They will not need a forward. They'll need Anthony Davis. They're going to go big game hunting. That's what the Lakers are doing. So when you hear these reports, there's one today by Kevin O'Connor at The Ringer. Nobody likes to play with LeBron. No, forwards don't want to play with LeBron because he's a forward and he'll be the best forward on the team. Can they use a great point guard? Maybe it's Lonzo. Can they use a great center? Maybe it's Anthony Davis. More to come. Chris Broussard tomorrow. In L.A., it's The Herd.
It's back. And it's front. No, really.